I'm right. And as I've said, I'm always right and I'm always going to be right. And there's nothing you can do about it. See, that's the luxury you get when you only speak on what you know, when you only talk about the things that you understand. Right? There's an idiot in the chat that said, bro, you just hate everything. No, you're just retarded. By the way, if you're watching this after the fact, yes, I call some retard in the chat a retard. You should come watch us live at 12 p.m. Central throughout the week for Kenneth's sake. Anyway, continuing on. I was right. And you can be mad at me all you want. Access Media is even conceding. I made this exact point that Now Access Media is making, because even they have to concede that it's the truth. Miles Morales' what if stories hint at larger problem for Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man. Listen to what it is that they say. Miles Morales has been a part of Marvel Comics for over 10 years, and visually he's quite recognizable and distinct. No, he's not. He just got a little black in his suit, and it's a Spider-Man suit, by the way. The problems with Miles comes when the costume is taken off, leaving a character who is still fairly undefined from a characterization standpoint, failing to make a real mark on himself and get out from under Peter Parker's shadow. Miles' journey to having a niche of his own by Marvel's current publications with the... I told y'all this. That's exactly what I've been saying. He's a copy and paste. There's nothing unique about him. There's no version of him that we have not already seen from a version of Peter Parker. Even they have to concede it. And I made this point when the what if got announced. I said, this is more proof, because if they thought that he was as cool as y'all thought he is, and they believed in him, why on earth are they spinning an entire line of what ifs, making him a black version of these various different characters, from Captain America to Hulk to Thor, which got all the backlash? I'd already made that point. Hell, I made that point years ago. The What If series currently stars numerous variants of Miles as respective, of the universe's version of another Marvel hero. While the concept sounds interesting, it only highlights how much of a blank slate he still is, all the while begging the question of his real purpose in the Spider-Man myth. It's quite hilarious to hear them finally concede it after y'all called me a self-hating black person, because I done said the same damn thing for years. That's why I dubbed him Peter Darker. That's why he feels so mundane. People that like this character only fake like him because they only see legitimacy in white characters. And Spider-Man is one of the most prominent superheroes to ever exist. So some of those that are obsessed with identity love the fact that there's a black version of that character. But in terms of actually liking him, they can't tell you why. Most of them can't. They cannot tell you. They'll try to Google something real fast if you're going back and forth with a Stan account, but they don't actually like this character. They don't buy his books. His books don't do very well. There's nothing that we have not seen from Peter Parker. Nothing. He's the same thing. Or even this Ultimate Universe version of him, which they brought into the main universe. Ultimate Universe version of him has the same exact origin story as Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe. It's literally a copy and paste. It's Osborn's spider that he was testing, and one ended up biting him. It's that same thing happened to Peter in the Ultimate Universe. It's just, oh, well, he could go invisible. Like, it's the same thing. Even his Venom powers aren't original. Spider-Woman was doing that. Another tokenized version of the character was doing that. Even that ain't original. After a decade of existence, the one thing that stands out about Miles is his rivalry with his villainous Uncle Aaron. Hilariously enough, his Uncle Aaron is Prowler. Tokenized Prowler, who is a Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man villain. Even his Miles villains are just Spider-Man villains. That's it. There's nothing original about this character. Oh, well, he has a father. That ain't got nothing to do with... That's not to say that, first of all, that's what Ben was, a father figure to Peter. But that ain't saying nothing about the character itself. There's nothing that we haven't already seen. It's been that way. I don't know what to tell you. You could be mad at me because you care more about the identity stuff and you think it's so important that little Johnny or Puerto Rican Johnny sees himself in like, you know, I get that you want to make yourself feel important about these goofy stories that you like. But when it comes to the factual information and the nitty gritty, we were always right. I was always right. No, I'm not even going to say we. I'm going to say I was always right, because even I've had to go toe to toe with some of my peers in this regard, talking about this, because they want a reason to try to think this character, he can exist. He's goofy. And to be fair, that was the whole point of why he was created. If you guys actually read what the editors and the creators of Miles Morales, what his point was, it had nothing to do with creating a new unique character. The only reason why the specific reason, which has been well documented, that they created him was because they had killed off Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe, and for whatever reason, they wanted another one there. So because Obama, that whole culture surrounding him had been a thing, they were like, well, our president's biracial. Why can't we have a black or whatever you want to call him? Why can't we have that? Why shouldn't our Spider-Man represent that? And that was really why he was created, to check a box. That was specifically why he was created. That's it. In the case of those characters, however, they have at least a mythology, supporting cast, established villains to reinterpret to fit the story. Miles, on the other hand, lacks much of a way of that. He doesn't have any villains that had like prominent villains that weren't already Spider-Man villains. And everything's copy and paste. He's got his own like Clone Saga now, right? Oh, we haven't seen a Spider-Man do that. We've already, and despite it being might not have been as liked, but it's still a thing that we already saw from him. Another problem with these what if issues highlight that Miles could literally be slotted into any character's mythology without missing a beat. That's because he's just them. He's just a black version of that character. Thank you, CBR. For once in your life, I mean, granted, you're like 10 years late, but for once in your life, you wrote an article that highlighted, I don't know, what I've been highlighting, and they called me a self-hating black man for it. No, you the one that hates yourself, because you only see legitimacy in white characters. That's the only reason why you like Miles Morales. I was right. This chair doesn't spin. I can't flip the bird and spin in the chair and say it, but I was right. Concede. You can get mad, but getting mad will not stop me from being correct about this position. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.